ramp with me.
Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a guan. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound no alarm, no see where I gwan. I kill with one another. Who we are harm? See John Tom gun, him son name Shan. One generation wipe from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dancing a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sit, your meds one changer. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look for a trader. Build great, don't build failure. A calamity, the little you them head get giddy. Now seek work, them a seek out iniquity. Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a guan. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound no alarm, no see where I gwan. I kill with one another. Who we are harm? See John Tom gun, him son name Shan. One generation wipe from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dancing a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sit, your meds one changer. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look for a trader. Build great, don't build failure. A calamity, the little you them head get giddy. Now seek work, them a seek out iniquity. Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a guan. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound no alarm, no see where I gwan. I kill with one another. Who we are harm? See John Tom gun, him son name Shan. One generation wipe from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dancing a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sit, your meds one changer. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look for a trader. Build great, don't build failure. A calamity, the little you them head get giddy. Now seek work, them a seek out iniquity. Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a guan. We you them a dead when I blow no alarm, no see where I gwan. I kill with one another. Who we are harm? See John Tom gun, him son name Shan. One generation wipe from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dancing a jeans and blazer.
Youth in a see, your meds one changer. Yeah man, big tune. That's the Dubs Over Guns album. You know, I think I should play it again. Let me play it again.
Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a guan. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound no alarm, no see where I gwan. I kill with one another. Who we are harm? See John Tom gun, him son name Shan. One generation wipe from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dancing a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sit, your meds one changer. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look. Build great, don't build failure. A calamity, the little you them head get giddy. Now seek work, them a seek out iniquity. Warrior energy.
Yeah man family, you don't know it's your girl here, LinQz. And welcome back to Come Mek We Chat, where we come to talk about the things them that nobody wants to talk about, and we talk about it plain and straight. There's so many things I want to talk about today. So many things. The main topic of today is mental health. Now, it's very easy to downplay someone else's mental health. It's very easy. Very, very easy. And in the past few weeks, there's been some things going on in the music business that has caused quite an uproar. I don't even know where to start with this one. So I'm gonna start with somebody from the Toronto dancehall fraternity, DJ Fire Blacks. And first off, I'm gonna show you a quick video of him. Give me a second here. I'm gonna show you a quick video of him. This is Fire Blacks from Nitro Sound. And first off, I want to say, sleep in peace, King. But I also want to talk about mental health. At least I want to talk about emotional well-being. Sometimes we have friends, we have family, and it seems like everything is okay. Nothing is wrong. They're good. But deep down inside, they're hurting. They're suffering. They're going through some sort of emotional trauma. And this is why I want to talk about DJ Fire Blacks. Recently, he died. We're not going to talk about how, we're not going to talk about why. We're not here to throw any shade on anybody. What we're here to talk about is emotional well-being. And the circumstances surrounding his passing, and again, rest in peace, Fire Blacks. And I'm sending my condolences out to your family. Shout outs to the whole Nitro family. But this brings emotional well-being to mind when you think of what happened with Fire Blacks. And again, as I was saying, you can have friends, you can have family, they can seem quite all right, like nothing is wrong, like they're okay. But they're not. Inside, they're hurting or suffering or going through something that may be unmanageable for them. And I want to put out there that social media has turned people into monsters. Literally. Because what it has done is it has allowed people to sit in the comfort of their home and throw shade at anybody. I was watching a funeral the other day of a TikToker, a Jamaican TikToker. And at his funeral, there was a man live streaming and asking for gifts and likes and this and that and tap the screen and follow and what? At a funeral? This shows that people have lost their sense of humanity. Samri, big up yourself, King. Thank you for tuning in. We talking about emotional well-being. I don't want to say mental health because my Caribbean people, we get crazy when we start hearing mental health. It's been a while, Samri. It has been a while. I'm good, but I'm not good. Which is why I chose this topic. I'm alive, I'm healthy, thank God. But my family is battling. We battling the fact that we might lose our grandmother. And this is why many of you have not seen me on social media for a few days. I believe that my emotional well-being is a little bit more important than coming on here to talk the things than what we always talk about. But today I wanted to really address emotional well-being. Thank you so much, Samri. I'm quite nervous of this upcoming election myself because the prospects aren't looking that good. But we're going to get into that at the end of the show. I just wanted to first cover emotional well-being. And I want you to share this live. Tap the screen, share the live. Let's get the message out there that we need to be a little more empathetic. We need to be a little more sympathetic. We need to be a little more aware of the things we say to people that may be hurting, if that makes sense. I've seen a lot of people disrespect this gentleman on the screen here in some very disturbing ways from behind the screen. Thank you for your prayers, Samri. I love you for that. Thank you so much. Please, family, y'all like and share this live because it's serious. Now, this gentleman was going through things. And to make it worse, there were people on social media that were just constantly throwing shade at this man, constantly throwing for months. And it became a topic online. And there were tons of vloggers and tons of shout outs to Grandma joining in. Big up yourself, Queen. There were tons of people that joined in to disrespect this man. I'm not going to say that they had no right, because I don't know their relationship with him. But what I do know is that they continued, and it became an income for some vloggers and for some TikTokers. It became a way for them to make money, to downplay this man, to disrespect this man, to show up or show out this man. And because of the impact it had on him emotionally, he's no longer with us. Shout outs Judah Asante in the building. Big up yourself, King. We're here talking about emotional well-being today. And the first person that I wanted to use as an example is DJ Fire Blacks. Many of us in the Toronto dance hall community, fraternity, whatever, party goers are familiar with this man. But we weren't familiar with his emotional state. And what happened was people capitalized on his circumstances. And they made it so that it affected his emotional well-being to the point that he's no longer with us right now. And I would think in myself, how y'all feel now? I'm quite certain that some of you that contributed to his emotional state are some of the same people that are out there saying, rest in peace, King. Sleep in peace, King. My condolences to you. Really? And this is something that bothers me about the internet, because it gives people the opportunity, like myself, to sit in their office and talk that mess about somebody that probably will never see them, that's nowhere near them, that's not in their circle, and make it a form of sport. And not consider how their actions are affecting that person. Somebody could already be suffering through trauma. Somebody could already be suffering through emotional instability. Somebody could already be in their feelings. And you taking that and putting it on social media and blasting it to the world in a negative way does not help the situation. Many of you may know the story. I'm not going to be the one to retell his story. But I am going to be the one to say that sometimes you just go too dang far. Sometimes words can cut deeper than a knife. Sometimes we can be so cruel and unempathetic that we don't realize our actions can possibly kill somebody else. And I think we need to think about that more. We need to think about what we say and what we do. And I know this show is called Come Mek We Chat, and it's all about talking about the things that when nobody no want to talk about. And we talk it plain, and we talk it straight, with no apologies. Yes. But when you're speaking about life and death, it's a completely different scenario. Like I said, there was a TikToker who was videoing another TikToker's funeral who had passed. I believe his name is 41 Gun or 21 Guns or something like that. And in this man's funeral, this brother is asking for taps and roses and money guns and this. You're at a man's funeral. The man's sister is there in complete despair. And the most important thing for you is that people like and share, like and share, like and share, taps and roses, tap the screen, money gun, send me a money. The man is hustling at this man's funeral and has plans to attend another TikToker's funeral to do the same thing. Where is the heart in that? Where is your conscience in that? Okay, I could understand if you're going live and you're there and people are gifting and tapping. That's different. But when you are soliciting, hustling your taps and your roses and at a funeral, it leaves a super bad taste in the viewer's eyes. At least anybody with any kind of common sense would take offense to that. Why? Because you've gone too far. You have absolutely crossed the boundary of respect. Absolutely. I mean, I was so tore up. The man's sister is crying and she's saying, "Oh my God, my brother, God and time, God and time." And this man is right there videoing her saying, "Tap on the screen, send a money gun, send a..." It was so and I'm sure she could hear him. She's grieving the loss of her brother, and this man is there to hustle his TikTok account. Is this what we've come to? Anyway, now I want to move on from Fire Blacks. I also want to talk about someone else. I want to talk about Lisa Hyper. We're going to do that in 5 minutes. We'll be right back, family.
Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a gun. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound, no alarm, no see where I gone. I kill with one another. Who we are see John Tom gun. Him son name Shan. One generation away from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dance in a jeans and blazer. Youth in a say your meds want change. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look for a trader. Bill great, don't build failure. A calamity, the little you them head get giddy. Now seek work, them a seek out iniquity. Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a gun. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound, no alarm, you no see where I gone. I kill with one another. Who we are see John Tom gun. Him son name Shan. One generation away from the land.
Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dancing. Yo, that's Calamity by yours truly off of the Dubs Over Gun album. Go check it out. It's on all streaming platforms. It's out there. And so let's get back to the topic at hand. In speaking about Fire Blacks, I also want to speak about Lisa Hyde because I'm concerned for her. I'm concerned for her emotional well being. And there's a lot of things that I didn't agree with as far as what she's going through. Okay? Let's go back. There was an incident a few years ago. Let's say 14, 15 or so years ago. And some videos had come out with her in some compromise or pictures in some compromising positions. Okay? And at that time, she was a member of the Gaza Nation, and anybody who knows Vibes Cartel is familiar with the Gaza Nation. What hurt me from back then was that the leader of the Gaza Nation was always spitting lyrics about loving freaky girls and that him love and this, that, and whatever the third. And when it came into his camp, he dismissed it. And I found that to be super hypocritical. This girl, as we've learned, was with this man since she was a kid, 16. Others have said even earlier, I'm going to go with what she says, which is 16, which is still a kid, by the way. Y'all did your thing, and then somehow, whatever y'all were doing in private made it to public by way of video, pictures, whatever. If you know, you know. You know the story, you know the story. You then kicked her out of the group or the clique. And still continued to endorse the lifestyle that you kicked her out for. It seemed super duper hypocritical. I kid you not. I was upset. I'm like, but why are you kicking her out? This is what you said you like. So, if anything, you should be promoting her more because she's embodying what you like. And then, as we all know, things happened to Vibes Cartel and he ended up in prison. And she still stuck by you and helped you. Even though she was removed from the group, disassociated from all of the members, she still stuck by right till your release. And upon your release, you invited her to your concert, your Freedom Street concert, which I thought was a good look. To me, I felt like, oh, this man is going to redeem this girl. Amen and praise the Lord. She needs redemption. And then, for whatever reason, we started to notice that she was going through something emotionally. And the first thing everybody did was try to label this girl as crazy. I didn't think that. I felt when I saw, you know, the rants and the venting, that because that's what I felt like she was doing. I felt like she was venting online because she wasn't being given what she felt she deserved in reality, which was acknowledgement. I think that's what she wanted or wants, is to be acknowledged for the work that she's been putting in. And she wasn't given that. She wasn't. Shout outs to So Bad in the room. Big up yourself, King. She wasn't being acknowledged the way she felt she should be as someone that had played her cards the way her boss wanted her to and did everything that he ever asked, only to be isolated and unrecognized and unacknowledged. So she wanted to rant, she wanted to vent, she wanted to let the world know that she had tolerated so much and doesn't feel that she received her accolades, the accolades that she deserved for the work that she put in. And instead of people understanding the emotional impact this situation had on her, they called her crazy. This woman, at a very young age, was sexually exposed online, thrown out of the group that she swore allegiance to, kept her allegiance even when she was isolated, showed nothing but loyalty to the man who put her on, but was just swept aside like nothing. And I couldn't get with that. I couldn't get how people could say she's crazy when she was clearly venting her frustrations. And you could see that even in her venting, she was holding a lot back. Like there's a lot more she could have said that was left unsaid to protect who needs to be protected. Now let's just rewind a little bit. Having sex with a 16-year-old is considered exactly. I didn't see anybody get charged for it. I didn't see anybody say anything about it. But in her rant, she mentioned it. You know, there's things I could do that could get him arrested. But I didn't. And I'm not going to, because of my respect and love and admiration for this man and the things that he has done for me, and for him introducing me into the business, showing me the right, keeping me away from harm, keeping me away from certain confused genders. And everybody labeled her as crazy. What about that is crazy? What about that emotional pain that she was trying to tell us makes her crazy? maybe sometimes the way she projected her thoughts may have seemed a little bit, you know, didn't seem together. Or, maybe it wasn't in chronological order. Maybe it was just kind of throughout here, there, whatever. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't valid. And it doesn't mean that it was unwarranted. And it doesn't mean that she should be bashed more for that. Or disrespected publicly more for that. And she was. Certain people blocked her, certain members from this crew that she has pledged her allegiance and love to has unfollowed her, blocked her, whatever. Why? The woman is clearly voicing her opinion, and it's obvious she's unable to do that in person. So she's doing it through the only means that she has, which is social media. And I say to myself, has any of these vloggers ever sat down and thought, sorry, that the accusations that they're hurling at this woman may just hurt more deep than we think? I kind of like sort of how Dexter Daps has handled it. Dexter said, "Me not diss you, but you need help. Somebody please help her. Me not diss her. Somebody please help her." And I feel the same way. I will never diss her. Even if there's things she does I don't agree with, I will never diss her. But I will say, somebody please help her. And I'm not a believer in this injection for what people may deem as mental health issues. Because a lot of these medicines that are used create more harm than good. And for those of you that are familiar or have children who are ADHD or ADD or ADHD, then you're familiar with Ritalin. And what Ritalin does is it pretty much turns the child into a vegetable. You say they're overhyped, they're overactive, they're just too hyper. Let's give them some Ritalin and have them sit in a chair drooling all day like a zombie. So in that sense, I kind of agree with her when she says she doesn't want this injection because maybe it has done something to her that she doesn't like. Slow down her thought process. Render her in a position where she's unable to vocalize things or do things the way she wants to. I have friends back home in Jamaica who have taken this injection and it has done more damage than good to them. If they were on the border before of a mental health crisis, after the injection they were definitely in a crisis and needed to be hospitalized. Which brings me to another point. Why does every mental health situation have to be medicated? Aren't there other forms of therapy or treatment that don't require pills or some type of injection? Whatever happened to cognitive exercises? You know, retraining the brain to work differently. When we talk about cognitive, we're talking about the way the brain works. And I'm very familiar with therapy, group therapy, one-on-one therapy. I was actually trained for this, which is why I like to look at ulterior methods to using drugs. Some pills, some injection. What about cognitive treatment? What about music therapy? What about farm therapy? There's so many other different types of therapy that can be used that does not include some type of injection. And that's what I think we should focus on more. I think we should focus more on helping people work through the issue or deal through the issue, instead of focusing on medicating them through this issue. What's your thoughts? What do you all think out there? Am I talking mess? Is what I'm saying making sense? Or am I just dumb? See, for me, it's hurtful to see adults, children, seniors who are suffering with a mental health issue or an emotional issue or a cognitive issue have their problems solved by being put on some form of medication. Medication is not always the answer. Sometimes just talking through the issue is enough. Sometimes finding alternative ways to deal with the way the issue affects you is good enough. Sometimes having a support system, just a support system, helps with the issue. Instead of just medicating it. See, I come from a generation where if you couldn't sleep, have a glass of milk or warm some bananas and eat it, you'll go to sleep. If you have a headache, massage your temples. If you don't feel well today, maybe you have a cold or the flu coming on, take some honey, some lime, some ginger, and a little tip of rum, and that will help. But in today's society, 2025, everything is medicated. You can't sleep, there's a pill. You sleep too much, there's a pill. You don't feel 100%, there's a pill. You're having what is it called there? You're having pains, a slight pain in your arm and your knee, whatever, there's a pill. Everything is medicated. I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I feel like the government is trying to medicate, have everybody on some type of drug. So that way, we won't focus on what they're doing. And speaking of that, that's going to be our next topic of discussion. We're going to talk about this upcoming election here in Ontario. Remember, government gave you your $200 check. Is that enough for your vote? Did you get your check? You get your check? You get your money? You're gonna vote? You don't know, family, it's Come Mek We Chat. We'll be right back.
Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a one. Where you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound, no alarm, no see where I want. I kill with one another. Who we are see John Tom done. Him son name Sean. One generation away from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dance in a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sick, your meds want change. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look for a trader. Bill great, don't build failure. A calamity, the little you them head get giddy. Now secret them a seek out iniquity. Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a one. You them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound, no alarm, no see where I want. I kill with one another. Who we are see John Tom done. Him son name Sean. One generation away from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dance in a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sick, your meds want change. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look for a trader. Bill great.
Yes, family. We are back. And before I go into politics, I want to introduce you to an artist that is live in the chat room right now. His name is So Bad. I want you to check out this tune from So Bad.
Hey, LinQz. I agree, you know the realest. I so bad.
Big up yourself,
All of the real weed smoker, them, you know.
The tune, bad man.
Toronto, everything free. Long time we Asian, I'm a fight for this. Hey, me love how with feeling on me head. Me no take pill, I grade on me meds. Love how with feeling on me head. We no take pill, I grade on we meds. Love how with feeling on me head. Feeling on me head. Love how with feeling on me head. How we feeling on me head.
Y'all go give Sozo a follow. He's a bad artist here, straight out of Toronto City.
Make you smart like Leroy.
Man in a Jamaica. Mad.
Me and me girl and weed in a big love triangle. Me a weed slave like Django. Get a good high grade last night. Me had a beat like a bango.
Hold on. When it's nice, we gotta play it twice like sugar and spice. Musical hits to make you jump, twist and turn like your skin get burned. This is so bad. Oh, so bad.
Hey, LinQz. I agree, you know the realest. I so bad. Big up all of the real weed smoker, them, you know. Toronto, everything free. Long time we Asian, I'm a fight for this. Hey, me love how with feeling on me head. Me no take pill, I grade on me meds. Love how with feeling on me head. We no take pill, I grade on we meds. Love how with feeling on me head. Feeling on me head. Love how with feeling on me head. How we feeling on me head. Me love we like the pig me the mac and
You know, so me not rinse out the man tune. No. Me not rinse out the man tune, you know? No. If you want to hear the rest of the song, it's available on all platforms. It's called Feeling on My Head by So Bad. Bad artist. Bad artist. Now let's move along. I have a question. You know, we're about to embark on an election here in Ontario. But my question is this. How did Doug Ford get our number? Did you get a call from Doug Ford? I got a call from Doug Ford asking me to help him. What? Help you what, bro? I think you've done a great job of ruining the province. And I'm going to tell you why. Employment taxes are higher than they've ever been, ever. Land and housing taxes are higher than they've ever been. Mortgages are higher than they've ever been. The cost of buying a home is higher than it's ever been. Rent is higher than it's ever been. Most of the country's services are now privatized. Most of them. And I heard he wants to privatize transit. Now there was another, shout outs to Sam Reed tuning in. This is your segment. You're gonna love this. There's an opposition member out there who suggested that all services, public transit, be paid for or monitored or financed by the government. And Doug Ford said, hell to the no. Now let me tell you something that you may not know. I used to work for YRT, which is York Region Transit. And York Region is privatized. It is not paid for by the government. And I'll tell you, thousands of people quit. Because when you privatize services, you open the door and listen to me very carefully. You open the door for criminality. You open the door for slave wages. You open the door to unsatisfied workers. You open the door to faulty equipment. I used to work for YRT, and the reason why I left is because I was hired as a paid employee, and then they tried to turn me into an independent contractor, which means I would be responsible for everything, like I'm running my own business. But y'all ain't giving me enough money to act like I'm running my own business. And you would pay me, and I would have to save my money and pay my taxes and do everything on my... What? I didn't sign up for that. I believe all public transit should be financed and monitored by the government. Have y'all seen what happened to Drive Test? I also used to work for Drive Test. Yes, I was the one who sat beside you when you went to go get your driver's license. And I was the one you drove around. And I would tell you, yes, you pass, or no, you fail. And because the Ministry of Transportation is no longer responsible for the drive test centers, it's now privatized. It's run by a company called Circle. Collusion is running rampant in that company. People that don't even deserve to have a G1 are driving around with a G license. Why? I'll tell you why. Because there's no oversight. And the employees are being forced, or they're trying to force employees to pass people. They want you to have a 70% pass rate. But what if 80% of the people that you take out cannot drive? How can you come up with a 70%? And then what they do is they make it easier for people to get their license. Do you know that if you come from the Ukraine, you don't have to show proof that you had a license? All you have to do is say, I had a license for this many years. And they will take it and issue you a G2 after you pass the written test, of course. And within a month or two, you can have your full G license off of your mouth, because it's a war-torn country. I had 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds coming to do their road test that didn't even know how to properly stop for a red light when making a turn, how to stop first, where to stop, not how to stop, but where to stop. Not in the middle of the intersection, behind the line. And they're saying that they've been driving for 5 years in your country, but you're only 17, so you've been driving since you're 12? These are the things that happen when you privatize government services. Notice the scandal at Service Ontario with Service Ontario workers providing VIN numbers for people who are stealing cars and reselling them through dealerships. Service Ontario is privatized. Notice how there's no more family doctors. It's all clinics now. Meaning, how many can we get in and how many can we get out? We only deal with one issue at a time. So if you break your arm and your finger, which one do you want to deal with? We don't do two things at a time. We don't cover all of your illnesses. We don't cover all of your injuries when you come into the doctor. We can only handle one issue at a time. Excuse you? These are the things that happen when we privatize government services. There leaves holes in the system. And guess what? People know or find and navigate ways to fall right through those holes and get what they want. So this question goes out to Sam Ree, if you're still in the building. Who are you going to vote for? Who do you think is the best candidate for our country, for our province, for the people of the province? And I'm not here to tell anybody who to vote for. I'm not here to throw my favor at any political party. What I'm here to do is offer suggestions as to what you should look for from your leadership. The first thing I think we should be looking at is, how about a reduction on employment taxes? It is absolute madness that you make less money when you do overtime than when you do your regular 9 to 5 shift. Absolute madness. I also think that it's also crazy that this overtime now increases your income overall for the year and may put you in a different tax bracket where Instead of getting a refund, you've got to return funds to the government. Samri says he's stuck between Liberal and NDP. I want nothing to do with none of them. I definitely will not vote progressive conservative. I will never vote conservative. They are the reason why our schools are a mess. Our hospitals are a mess. Our standard and quality of life is a mess. I will never vote conservative. And that started with Mike Harris, if y'all remember him. Mr. You don't need extracurricular activities at school. Let's take civics out of class. Does anybody know what civics was? Civics taught you how the government works, how the system runs. Honestly, Samri, I'm leaning towards the Green Party myself. I mean, NDP, what have they done? Liberals, what have they done? Progressives, we know they're all about the almighty dollar. Everything is for sale, and it's only their wealthy friends that are going to benefit from whatever they do. To me, the Conservative Party is like the trust fund baby. They already got it, so they don't need it. So they don't have any problem with making things a little more expensive. Work a little harder. Work some more overtime. Right, Samri? Work some more overtime. Even though you're not going to get a cent of it, you're going to get less than you normally get. Work some more. Take another job. Work 2 jobs. Be the slave to the system. No, I'm never voting for that. Then you have the liberals who are like, we'll give you money. We'll give you all the money you want. Or not only that, we'll give your money to other people. We've got billions of dollars. We're going to just give it away to everybody. See, I knew this system was screwed up when they came out with these grants. You know, they have all these grants for black businesses. How many black businesses have received those grants? I would say 5%. Why? Because there's so much political red tape and hurdles that you have to cross to qualify. So a regular person with an average credit score, you know, or a bad credit score, you're not getting it. And isn't that who it's supposed to be for? The little guy who's trying to come up? Or, oh no, I forgot. It's for the big guy who wants to increase his wealth. And you're right, Samri. I don't understand why the employment taxes are so high in this country. Why? And no, actually, I think I heard 1 or 2 people say in their political campaign that they're going to reduce employment tax. I believe it was the NDP, and I believe also the Green Party. But is it just lip service? Because we're kind of tired of that now. We're tired of you telling us what you think we want to hear. We're tired of you treating us like we're not the ones responsible for your career. We call the shots. We, the citizens of the country, we call the shots. And we need to get back to that point of non-complacency. Canadians, you're too complacent. Oh, we're going to raise the taxes another 5%. Okay. Too complacent. You need to make noise. When I was younger, and when I say younger, I'm going to say in my teens, when the politicians did something that the general public didn't like, when you woke up the next morning, their office was surrounded by people, picket signs. They went off. They did not allow the government to dictate to them how things are going to go. They dictated to the government how things is going to go. Because guess what? They put them there. And so I would love for my Canadian people, I really would, if you would get back to that. Get back to we run things. We run this. We put you into power to make things run smoothly. Not for your friends, not for your rich friends, but for the middle class and the lower class. Everybody should be happy. And we're not. So, getting back to my original point, the things that I think are important are quite obvious. Home, health, work. We need to get back to the Canada that we used to have, where when you go into your doctor's office, they are concerned for your health and your well-being. And no matter how many illnesses or injuries that you come into the office with, they are going to take care of it. Not one at a time. I'm also concerned with housing. Not even 20 years ago, a house that costs $1 million today was $30,000. That's like a 1,000% increase. More than $1 million for $30,000 house. Let's make living affordable again. When are we going to do that? Rent. Oh my God. Woy oy. 85% of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck and have to decide whether to eat or pay rent. The cost of living is more than what people are making. They can't afford it. They can't afford to live somewhere, eat, and provide transportation to and from work. Is this the Canada that we know? No. Is this the Canada that we want? No. Because it sounds more like an industrial slave complex than a country. Sorry. It sounds more like legislated slavery than it does life. Thank you, Samri. I try and put my thoughts together as best as I can without being disrespectful, which doesn't always work. We need to lower employment taxes. We need to bring back rent control. Because what's have you noticed all these new developments, all these new condos going up? Some of them are rental condos. Do you know why? Because the government has legislated that they have no restrictions on what they charge for rent, no restrictions on how they raise rent. They can raise the rent whenever, however, for how much they feel like. A one bedroom is $2,000. And it doesn't matter how crappy it is. It's so bad that we are now calling rooms an apartment. I was looking through the listings, I always do this just for research purposes. And now they have something called a 1+1 bedroom. What is a 1+1 bedroom? What it is you get a room and a roommate. So you get one room plus there's another room, but it's occupied by somebody. Most often to not, it's occupied by the person that's renting you the room. And they're unable to maintain their rent. So they need help. Ontario is the only place that I've ever heard of bidding wars for rental units. Yes, I said that correctly. Bidding wars. The landlord lists the property or the rent or the apartment at $1,500, just to be nice, which never happens. $1,500. Somebody comes, says, I have $1,500. Another person comes and says, I want this place. And he's like, well, somebody just offered me $1,500, but if you willing to give me $1,600, it's yours. And they say, okay, you got it. And then 2 hours later, another person comes to look and says, oh, I want this place. Well, somebody's offering me $1,600, so if you're willing to give me $17, and the madness continues until that unit is now a $2,000, $2,200 investment from $1,500. You even have landlords requesting, not even landlords, real estate agents as well, who should, if this happens to you, report them. Okay? Report them to OREA. That's the Ontario Real Estate Agency. Real estate agents are coercing people to pay 6 months' rent in advance. In Canada. Now let me enlighten some of you that may not know. In this country, to rent an apartment, a house, whatever, it only takes first month's rent and last month's rent. First month's rent is when you move in, that's your first month. Last month's rent is when you're going to move out. If you give them enough notice, they give it back to you. Or if you decide to live it out, you live it out. But you should not be giving them one more dime more than that unless it's a commercial property. They will request one more month's rent as a security deposit for damage. But I have people that I have spoken to that have paid 9 months' rent in advance. That's almost a year. 2,000 times 9 is $18,000. You're almost on your way to a down payment for a home. And they are stripping you of that luxury. So that's important to me. Home, health, work. We need to get back to the Canada that we had before, where people lived peacefully, lovingly, and happily. We're not doing that anymore. People are miserable because the cost of living is outrageous. Not only is the cost of living outrageous, the employment, the money, the income is ridiculous. It's not enough to make ends meet. And if you decide to raise the minimum wage, you know what's going to happen? Businesses are going to leave because they don't want to give people more money. What's happening now with a lot of employment agencies is they are not hiring Canadians. They're hiring immigrants because they don't know the law and they can give them less. I used to work for a company, a cleaning company, that fired all of the Canadian employees to hire immigrants. Whether they're legal or illegal, I don't care. Because they gave them less than half of what they gave us. If we were getting $30 an hour, $20 an hour, they're getting 10. They're not even getting minimum wage. And it's because they don't know, they accept it. So this is on the government. You have brought this on to us. And what you need to do, what you really need to do now, is fix it all. Fix it. And I don't think Doug Ford's going to fix it. Quite frankly. I don't think the Liberal Party is going to fix it. I'm on the fence with the NDP. I like some of the, I loved the NDP when Jack Layton was alive, because he was a real Canadian. And it's funny how every politician that is loved mysteriously dies from cancer. Jack Layton, Rob Ford, Doug's brother, remember him? He's the reason why Doug Ford got elected, because we thought he was going to be like his brother, a man of the people, a man for the people. And it's funny how there's always some other relative that seems to take over the position of the person that mysteriously died, right? Like Doug Ford. And like our mayor, Miss Chow, Mr. Layton's wife, widow. And it's funny how they never come with the same platform as the deceased. May they rest in peace. They never come with the same they always come from left, complete opposite of what we expect. Like I said, I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. But I'm here to tell you, please research who you vote for. And make sure they have you and your family's best interest at heart. Make sure they have your health in mind and as a priority. Make sure they have your employment, your income, or the taxes you pay out from your income as a priority. Make sure they have your health, your well-being, be it physically, emotionally, whatever. Make sure they have that as a priority. Like I said, family, I'm here to talk the things that nobody wants to talk about. It's Come Mek We Chat. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a one. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound, no alarm, no see where I gone. I kill with one another. Who we are see John Tom gun. Him son name Shan. One generation wipe from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dance in a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sick, your meds one changer. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look for a trader. Bill great, don't bill failure. A calamity, the little you them head get giddy. Now secret, them a seek out iniquity. Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a one. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound, no alarm, no see where I gone. I kill with one another. Who we are see John Tom gun. Him son name Shan. One generation wipe from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dance in a jeans and blazer.
You in a sick. Your meds want changer, thoughts for eraser, school you for chaser, don't like books, you look for a trader, bill great, don't bill failure, a calamity, the little you them head get giddy, yeah man, that's yours truly. We're talking politics, family. Shout outs to everybody tuning in the room. So bad, big up yourself. Caramel Touch, big up yourself. CS Restaurant Toronto Saga, big up yourself. All of my family in Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, big up on yourself. Everybody tuning in, big up yourself. I am speaking through love. Although I sound a little bit heated right now, I'm talking through love. I love to see my people living happily, healthy, able to maintain themselves and their family and pay their bills and have no problem. That's what I love. I love to see my people getting proper health care, not rushed. I want the Canada I know. The great Canadian, the great North, the strong, the true North, strong and free. What happened to that? Because I feel like a working slave sometimes. I honestly do. So, we're talking politics, we're talking elections, because they're coming up very shortly. Who are you going to vote for? Who have you chosen to represent you? We already see what the conservative government has in store for us. It's called, in my opinion, political slavery. Legislated slavery. We already see that the liberal government is more concerned with financing other countries than this one. They'd rather put more money into people that don't need it than us. They would rather spend our money on themselves. Have you noticed? Have you ever researched how much money these people make after they come into office? And I don't mean I don't mean from their wages. I mean through politics, through kickbacks, through greenbelt contracts, through road work, things that are supposed to better the city, the country, is just lining their pockets and the pockets of their contractor, builder, whatever friends. Shout outs to Canadian Keyboard tuning into the room. Big up yourself. Black Widow, big up yourself. Alicia, big up yourself. We talking politics tonight. And I think now is the best time because we about to have an election. And did you get your did you get your check? You get your $200? Did you get your check? Is that enough for you to vote in favor of what we've been suffering through these past few years? Did it convince you? Because it just seemed really weird that out of the blue, we get a $200 check and, oh, time for elections. That sounds like some Jamaica politics. Are we in Jamaica? What's going on? Another thing that's concerning to me is food. What's going on in our supermarkets? Why? Where did all of this taste bad food come from? And where did all of this crappy food come from anyway? What happened to the Made in Ontario labels that I used to see so frequently in the grocery stores that I do not see anymore? It seems like most of our food either comes from the US or South America, and not to disrespect anybody, but it's not the greatest quality. I've had grapefruits that have no juice. They're dry. I've had oranges that are sour. A friend of mine got a plastic or rubber avocado, rubber mangoes, plastic rice, fake fish, snake fish, snake instead of fish. What's going on in our supermarkets, and why isn't the Food Administration on top of their business? How are they allowing such low quality food to be distributed on such a wide scale level to Canadians? Somebody needs to lose their job. Or some bodies need to lose their job. We're at a point where this is in Canada. This is some foolishness. Without saying what I really want to say. This is some foolishness. Some foolishness. And we accepting it. We taking it. Nobody's lining up at their politician's office, their local MP or their local MPP, and saying, "What are you doing? What's going on? Why is this happening?" Do you notice? It's like every year teachers are on strike because they're not being paid well. Do you know that teachers do not get paid to mark work? They don't get paid for things they do outside of class time. Why not? That's a part of their job. Taking home your homework or taking home your curriculum or taking home tests and grading them is part of their job. If they're not doing it in school, after school, they're doing it at home. At least pay them if they stay late and do it. Pay the teachers that volunteer their time to manage sports teams and bands and extracurricular school activities. They should be paid for that. These teachers spend extra hours on top of teaching to monitor, teach, and train our future generation of athletes. They should be paid for that. We waste too much time on what we shouldn't pay for. Teachers should be paid more than lawyers. They build the next generation. And if they have to do things after school like mark your homework or prepare a test or prepare the work for the next day, pay them and don't question it. Pay them. Point blank, period. Matter of fact, pay our doctors. Why are we treating doctors like they're some kind of low-rate second-class citizen? They are responsible for our life. They are responsible for our health. They are responsible for our wellness. Pay them. The problem is Canada's too damn cheap in everything. With our sports teams, with our doctors, with our nurses, with our medical staff. Pay them. They deserve it. They do a great justice to this whole country. But then again, we're the kind of country, we don't even invest in our army. We invest in our police more than our army. When was the last time you heard some funding went to the army? I was appalled to find out that our soldiers don't even have proper boots. What? This is not a third world country. This is a first world country. Start treating the people as such. I'm tired of this, I'm gonna do what I want to do and you can't stop me politics. Because you got voted in. You didn't elect yourself into office. You gave us a speech, we believed in you, and then you turn around and you flopped on us. Fix it. Fix it before people like me start going into politics and showing you how it's really done. Fix it. We are far past the point of acceptance. We don't accept none of this. We don't accept that we work 8-10 hours of overtime on top of our 40-80 hour work week, whatever type of work week you have, only to make less money than we normally make doing our regular 9 to 5 with overtime. And not only that, the overtime now puts us in a higher tax bracket, so we got to pay back. We don't receive any refund come tax time. Get out of here. Fix it. This, we only deal with one medical issue at a time type of doctoring. Fix it. This going into an emergency ward and there's only one doctor servicing the whole emergency ward. Fix it. Pay them properly. we are also tired of living paycheck to paycheck. People need to be able to afford where they live, their bus pass to get back and forth to their slave job, and food. Fix it. Because if you don't, I will. We need to make Canada great again, like it used to be. We are known as a sympathetic nation. We have no enemies. Very few, because we are not like our American brothers and sisters. We care. Start the caring at home with your people. Somebody tag Doug Ford, please. Somebody tag Bonnie Crombie, please. Somebody tag Marit Stiles, please. Somebody tag the leader of the Green Party. Fix it. Or you gon' FAFO. Fix it. And so, family, let's wrap up politics because my head is hurting me. I have a headache now. No, I don't need medication. I need a head rub. We're going to take a quick break, family. And we're going to come back and wrap up the show. And we're going to open it up to you, the audience, to tell us what you think. Tell us what you think now. Don't know it's a girl LinQz. This a Come Mek We Chat.
Warrior energy. Warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a gun. We you them a dead when I blow no storm. No sound, no alarm, you no see where I go on. I kill with one another. Who we are harm? See John Tom gun. Him son name Sean. One generation wipe from the land. Pity you study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dance in a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sit. Your meds want change. That's for eraser. School of a chaser. Don't like books, you look for a trader. Bill great, don't build failure. A calamity, the little you them head get giddy. Now secret them a seek out iniquity.
Yes, family, we are back. And, sorry. Here on Come Mek We Chat, I always like to, I love music. I'm a musician. Mad LinQz, you don't know. I mean, say who that I me that I represent the T that Mad Rasta. I love music. And so I always like to do a little musical interlude at some point of the show. And so today, I'm going to do just that. I am going to introduce you to my favorite artist in the world. His name is Burning Spear. So I want you to listen in and enjoy.
I, the son of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. Our heart shall correspond and beat it in one harmony. Songs from the burning spear.
This is the man called Burning Spear. Real reggae artist.
Shall not enter. He's a whole along. I, the son of the moon.
When it's nice, we gotta play it twice like sugar and spice. Musical hits to make you jump and twist. Man called Burning Spear.
I, the son of the most high, Jah Rastafari. Our heart shall correspond and beat it in one harmony. Sounds from the burning spear.
Talent in the building. Look up yourself.
Two peep shall not enter. Peace out, la la. Be wax on a cheap man's stand. Sipping from the cup of peace. Chant down a Babylon. Chant down Babylon. Chant down a Babylon. Chant down Babylon. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise to the whole man of creation. Chant down a Babylon. Chant down Babylon. Chant down Babylon. Chant down Babylon. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise to the whole man of creation.
Yes, family. That's the man known as Burning Spear. You're here. Big bad artist. So now I'm going to open up the floor to you, family. What do you think about this election? How are you going to vote? What are you looking to see? What are you looking to see happen? What do you want to get out of this election? At 6S1C can A. Success C can A. Okay. Says that he doesn't trust none of them. My homegirl Michelle says she's gonna vote green. Sam Ree says it's a toss-up for him between the Liberals and the NDP. Zoso, if you're still in the room, who are you gonna vote for? We're at the point where these decisions so say I jam my vote for straight. Boy, I wish I really wish I could. I really wish I could vote for God. Because at least then we know we would be treated fairly. We wouldn't have to deal with all of the foolery. One of my friends in the Facebook room, I can't see your name, I'm sorry, is saying Green Party all the way. One of my friends on the Instagram is saying NDP. I have yet to see anybody say PC. Conservative. 1000%. That tells me y'all are just as fed up as I am. And nobody is saying liberal. That tells me that a lot of y'all are fed up with Justin Castro. I mean Trudeau, sorry. So you're tired of Doug. And you're tired of Trudeau. Only leaves two parties. NDP and Green. Oh, hold on. Someone here is saying, and I'm going to read word for word what they're saying. Politicians have been taking us for fools. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your health. They don't care about where you live. Look at how the homeless population has increased since this government took office. What you're saying is right. We need to vote for what we want. And what you said you want is what I want. Healthcare, good healthcare. It's a long read. A reduction in taxes and affordable housing. I agree. Doesn't sound like too much to me. It actually sounds about right. It actually sounds like what we should be interested in. La spiritualité Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Yes, I speak French. Je parle français bien. Je comprends français bien. What do you want to see? What do you want to gain from this election? What is best for you, your family, and your community? And who do you think is going to give you that? Alchemy joining in the building. Big up yourself. We got 4 people in the room and 500 just viewing. That means y'all are just as interested in this topic as me. Somebody said they're gonna vote for me. I didn't run. But I will. I will if they push me far enough. I will. Somebody here said they can't be bothered because it's not going to make a difference. You could be right. But there's power in numbers. And if you're not happy now, why aren't you telling your MP that? Why aren't you going to their office and saying, yo, Guan, what's going on here, bruh? What's going on? Can't deal with what's going on here. Rent's too high. Income's too low. Healthcare is not the greatest. And you're trying to privatize it all. Stop this. Move up. We need to make Canada great again. We need to make Canada great again. And I know it can be done. I know it can be done. We just gotta unite. We've gotta unite for the betterment of not ourselves, but our family and our community. That's what we need to do. And the sooner we do it, the better off we'll be. The better off we'll be. And I have a surprise for y'all. I'm gonna play a surprise artist off the Dubs Over Guns. Just give me 1 second here, family. I gotta find it. Me not like stop at one. I already let you hear myself on the dubs over guns. But I also have another artist.
Yo, them youth are evil and harsh. Hey, madly. But a dubs over gun when people want. Yo, full dry yourself, youth. You why? What make the youth them so dark? So they don't make with no heart. Wrong talk and a gun spark.
And I'm gonna play that artist for you. Just give me a second here.
Yo, them youth are evil and harsh. Hey, madly. But a dubs over gun when people want. Yo, full dry yourself, youth. You why? What make the youth them so dark? So they don't make with no heart. Wrong talk and a gun spark. What make the youth them so dark? So they don't take no talk. Wrong talk and a gun spark. What make the youth them so harsh? So they not take no talk. More money than the bigger gun than the sword. Them may put up and pass with the flicker them armor.
Everything is a process. Sometimes I hate the process. Nah, lie.
Yo, them youth are evil and harsh. Hey, madly. But a dubs over gun when people want. Yo, full dry yourself, youth. You why? What make the youth them so dark? So they don't make with no heart. Wrong talk and a gun spark.
Let's pull it up from the top. This is so bad. And the dubs over gun.
Hey, madly. But a dubs over gun when people want. Yo, full dry yourself, youth. You why? What make the youth them so dark? So they don't make with no heart. Wrong talk and a gun spark. What make the youth them so dark? So they not take no talk. Wrong talk and a gun spark. What make the youth them so harsh? So they not take no talk. More money than the bigger gun than the sword. Them may put up and pass with the flicker them armor. Country move wall look like something from Mars. Look them fling around them look like some falling stars. Y'all only one bad man and that's where them bars. So them heart get cooler than the middle of the north. Their face are mask, them a move like the top. Yo, them youth are evil and harsh. Hey, madly.
Hey, so.
Yo, full dry yourself.
Big tune.
What make the youth them so dark? So they don't make with no heart. Wrong talk and a gun spark. What make the youth them so dark? So they don't take no talk. Wrong talk and a gun spark. What make the youth them so harsh? So they don't take no talk. More money than the bigger gun than the sword. Them may put up and pass with the flicker them armor. Country move wall look like something from Mars. Look them fling around them look like some falling stars. Y'all only one bad man and that's where them bars. So them heart get cooler than the middle of the north. Their face are mask, them a move like the top. Yo, them youth are evil and
Yes, family. That is so bad. You know, so me not rinse it up. Me just play a little piece. Can find it on all social media platforms. It's dubs over guns. You see me? Music over madness. Melody over machine. And that with the pun. Which brings me to another point. It's about that time I wrap up the show. So I wanted to talk about a project that I'm working on. And I played so song off of the project called Feeling in My Head. It's the Midnight Run rhythm. by yours truly. Featuring myself, So Bad, Ghetto President, Ray Ross, Zerbo Ross, H2O, all Canadian lineup, all talent, all talented. Go look for it. It's out. It's out now. It's out now. And I want to talk a little bit about the theme of this album, Midnight Run. The theme is based on what's in the dark must come to light. And that we don't have to be afraid of the night. We can make the night safe again. We can make life enjoyable again. It's the choices that we make. It's us, not them. Big up Samo Janaki in the building. Bad artists. Big up yourself, King. Anyway, you're there. It's about making changes to how we act and how we perceive the world. How we act in the world and how we perceive the world and what we do in the world. Before I go, Drew, big up yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Before I go, one more song off of the Dubs Over Guns. Actually, I'm going to play two more. But this particular artist I'm going to play is a very talented artist out of T-Dot. You may know him, you may not know him. Goes by the name of Nkrumah.
My LinQz production. Dubs over gun. You can you put down weapon. Stop killing me, that answer. Get time. Go easy. No pulley 4 or 5, you no squeezy. Every get you feel.
Pull up that. This artist goes by the name of Nkrumah. Yeah.
My LinQz production. Dubs over gun. You can you put down weapon. Stop killing me, that answer. Get time. Go easy. No pulley 4 or 5, you no squeezy. Every get you feel right. Tie your face in the water. It don't please me, my get time. Go easy. Make a letter you feel you live, believe me. Every get you feel right. Tie your face in the water.
That's Nkrumah. And the last artist I'm gonna play goes by the name of Classic.
Nobody now support the kids them like me right now. We no kill youth, We a bill youth. Big ol' man a uno me a talk to. We a bill youth. No, we no kill youth. Big man a uno me a talk to. Send the them go a school. Make them learn, set them brain at the.
All up. We want it spicy and nice. This is classic on the Dubs Over Guns rhythm.
Nobody now support the kids them like me right now. We no kill youth. We a bill youth. Big ol' man a uno me a talk to. We a bill youth. No, we no kill youth. Big man a uno me a talk to. Send the youth them go a school. Make them learn, set them brain at the real world. Then too, not the one where man a pushing on your hand and tell you to kill a next man. My G that the wrong. Ooh, that me know I'm not me, cause that me know for sure. Everything when me reach so far, I mean grow. On the league board, me at the top score. I'm a master, right? You got me, I go give them more. Hey, what we say?
Yeah, man, family. Just a quick little interlude. Dubs Over Guns is out there. Go grab your copy. You don't know. I mean, say who that I mean that I represent the T that Mad Rasta. I come Mek We Chat. Come Mek We Chat. They've talked to them, nobody know what to talk about, you know. Yeah.
Nobody now support the kids them like me right now. We no kill youth. We a bill youth. Big ol' man a uno me a talk to. We a bill youth. No, we no kill youth. Big man a uno me a talk to. Send the youth them go a school. Make them learn, set them brain at the real world. Then too, not the one where man a pushing on your hand and tell you to kill a next man. My G that the wrong. Ooh, that me know I'm not me, cause that me know for sure. Everything when me reach so far, I mean grow. On the league board, me at the top score. I'm a master, right? You got me, I go give them more. Hey, what we say?
Yo, them youths are evil and harsh. Hey, money, but a Dubs Over Gun with the people want. Yo, full joy yourself, dude. You why? What make the youth them so dark? So they don't make with no heart, wrong talk and a gun spark. What make the youth them so dark? So they not take no talk, wrong talk and a gun spark. What make the youth them so harsh? So they not take no talk. More money than the bigger gun than the sword. Them may put you one pass with the dick of them arm and guns we move wall look like something from Mars. But they bling around them look like some falling stars. Y'all only one bad man and that's where them bars. So them heart get cooler than the middle and the north. They face our mask, them a move like the stars. Yo, them youths are evil and
Violence production. Dubs Over Gun. You can you put a weapon. Stop killing me, that awesome. That time, go easy. Drop only 4 or 5, you not squeezy. Every get how you favors. Tie your faces on the wide eye. It don't please me, man. Go easy. Make a life tell you for you live, believe me. Every get how you favors. Tie your faces on the wide eye.
Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a gun. We you them a dead when I blow no star. No sound no alarm, no see where I go. I kill with one another. Who we are see John Tangan, him son name Shan. One generation away from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chaser. Study figure dance in a jeans and blazer. Youth in a sick, your meds one change. That's the eraser. School of it.
Look for your trader, build great, don't build failure. A calamity, the little youth them head get giddy. Now secret them a seek out iniquity. A study you fi quickly put one pan Vicky. A meds money making by any means. Now study fi build back from sufferation. Now study mama earth, not Kira land. Pan judgment land, a straight up chant. We a chant out to a nation. Oh, we a chant out to a nation. Oh, we a chant out to a nation. We say we youth under trauma, talk about that. Live in fear where you are do about that. Judgment them face, have to stop that. PTSD, no know about that. If you're not gonna react, please stop chat. Stop put your mouth where your foot not land. We don't need hypocrite statements. No. A calamity, the little you them. Yeah, man, family, you don't know it's come Mek We Chat and me say who that and me that I represent the T that. My Rasta. Enjoy yourself, blessed love, one love every time. What good here?
Warrior energy, warrior nation, yeah. One bag of looting and shooting a gun. We you them a dead when I blow no star. No sound, no alarm, no see where I go. I kill with one another. Who we are see John Tamdan, him son, him shine. One generation away from the land. Pity you a study up your eyes and chase. Study figure dance in a jeans and blazer. You know see your meds want change.